Let's have this example of word problems, money-related problems. So first example, so a man is paid 200 pesos for each day he works and forfeits 50 pesos for each day he is idle. At the end of 25 days, he nets 4,500. How many days did he work? So let's say we have 200 pesos as payment for X, let's say X days. Okay, this represents the days that he, let's say he works. Then we have 50 pesos, forfeits 50 pesos. Let's say that is for Y days. This is for the days that he is, let's say, idle. So at the end of 25 days, he nets 4,500. So basically, the number of days he works plus the number of days that he is idle is equal to 25 days. So let's have the equivalent of Y as 25 minus X. Okay? So all we have to do, since the net income is given 4,500, all we have to do is sum up the days that sum up the income sum up his income on the days he works, and we are to less 50 pesos times the number of days that he is idle. So this is, we have 200 multiplied by the number of days that he works, X, then forfeits, which means we have to subtract. This is 50 multiplied by the number of days that he is idle, and he will receive a net value of 4,500. So this is 200 multiplied by X minus 50. What is the equivalent of Y? The equivalent of Y is equal to 25 minus X, and this is equal to 4,500. So this is 200 of X minus, what is 50 times 25? 50 times 25 is equal to 1,250, then plus negative times negative plus 50x equal to 4,500. So we'll be having, it's now 200 of x plus 50x is equal to 4,500 plus 1,250. So this is 50x. So 200x plus 50x equal to 4,500 plus 1,250. This is 250 of x equal to 5,600. 5,750. Yes, 5,750. So dividing both sides by 250, what will be the value of x? Again, the value of x, that is the number of days that he works. So 5,750 divided by 250. So he works for 23 days. Alright, this will be our answer. Okay, so let's have this example. So still money-related word problem. So Dennis has 50 peso, 100 pesos, and 200 pesos paper bill amounting to 20,300. So let's say X represents the number of 50 peso bill or 50 peso bills. Let's say Y represents the number of the 100 peso bills. And let's say we have Z represents the number of the 200 pesos or the 200 peso bills. Okay, so we have XYZ represents the number of bills per type. We have the 51 pesos, 100 pesos, and the 200 pesos. So according to the problem, the total amount of this bill will be equal to 20,300. That is the same as 50 times X plus 100 times Y plus 200 times Z is equal to 20,300. So that will be our first equation. Based on the statement of the problem. Delio borrowed 14 pieces of 50 bills so that the total amounts of 50 pesos and 100 peso bills are equal. So we are to remove, according to the problem, we are to remove 14 pieces of the 50 pesos bill. So we have, so that is the same as for the 50 peso bill, this is 50, the number of bills is X. We are removing 14 pieces, minus 14 pieces. This will be the remaining amount, and that will be equal to, according to the problem, okay, so the total amount of the 50 pesos and 100 pesos bills are now equal. So this is now, if you are to remove 14 pieces of the 50 peso bill, that will be equal to the amount of the 100 peso bill, which is 100 times y. So we may have this as x minus 14 equal to 100y divided by 50. So we have the value of x is equal to 100 divided by 50 is 2 times y. Transpose 14, that will be plus 14. So this will be the equivalent of x in terms of y. The next statement. So Donalyn also borrowed 11 pieces of 200 peso bills so that the total amount of the remaining 200 and 100 are equal. So this time, we are to remove 11. So 11 pieces of 200 bills so that the amount of the 200 peso bill will be equal to the amount of the 100 peso bill. So we have this is 200. The number of 200 peso bill is Z. This is Z. We have to remove 11 since it was the 11 pieces were borrowed by Donalyn. So this will be the remaining amount of the 200 and will now be equal to the amount of the 100 peso bill. So according to the problem, so that the total amounts of the remaining 200 and 100 are equal. So this is dividing both sides by 200. So we have now Z minus 11 is equal to 100 over 200 is 0.5 of y. Then the value of Z is equal to 0.5 of y. Transpose 11 plus 11. So this will be the equivalent of Z in terms of y. And we may substitute the equivalent of x and equivalent of Z on our first equation. So again, our first equation is 50 of x plus 100 of y plus 200 of Z is equal to 20,300. So we have this is 50. What is the equivalent of x? The equivalent of x is 2y plus 14. Then plus the 100y plus we have 200 of Z. But what is the equivalent of Z? And the equivalent of Z is equal to 0.5 of y plus 11, and this is now equal to 20,300. So this is the same as we simplify. This is 50 times 2 is 100y plus 50 times 14 is 700 plus 100y plus 200 times 0.5 is 100 of y plus 200 multiplied by 11 is 2,000, I think it's 2,200 equal to 20,300. Okay, so we combine similar terms. This is now 300 of y equal to 20,300 minus 700 minus 2,200. So we have, this is 300 of y equal to, so let's determine the value of 20,300 minus 700 minus 2,200. So we have that as 17,400. So we can now have the value of y. This is 300 of y is equal to 17,400, dividing both sides of the equation by 300. Okay, so we have the value of y that is the same as the number of the 100 peso bill. So we have 17,400 divided by 300. So we have that as 58. And this is 58. What will be the number of the 50 peso bills? So we have this is x. Okay, we have x is 2 times 58 plus 14. So the number of the 100 peso bills we have 2 times 58 plus 14 is 100. This is 130. Then we have the value of z is equal to the number of the 200 peso bills. That is 0.5. And we have 0.5 of 58. That is plus 11. 0.5 of 58 is 29 plus 11. This is, I think this is 40. It is 40. 0.5 of 58 plus 11. We have 40 bills. So the total number of bills is 58 plus 130 plus 40. So we have that as 170 plus 58. So we have 58 plus 130 plus 40. We have the total number of bills as 228 paper bills. But the question, what is the question for this problem? So are equal. How many paper bills were left? So we are able to determine the total number of bills, which is 228 paper bills. So we are to remove 14 bills. 50 peso bills, I think that is the value borrowed by, or the number of bills borrowed by. So Delio borrowed 14 pieces of 50 bills and 11 pieces of 200 bills borrowed by Donalyn. So from the 228 paper bills, we are to remove 14 and 11 paper bills. So the paper bills left, that is 228 minus 14 minus 11, or is minus 25. So we have the answer as 203. For the remaining paper bills, we have 203 paper bills. That will be our answer. So we proceed with a simple interest problem. So this is for simple interest. Okay, so you may discuss more of this later on in your higher year on engineering economy. But for algebra, it will be simple problems. So how to compute for simple interest? So let's say this is I. The simple interest is equal to the present amount, or the interest rate times the number of years. So P is your present amount or the principal amount. So we have R is the rate, while T is for the number of period. Usually or supposedly it should be expressed in terms of a year. So how to determine the future amount of money? The future amount is basically equal to your capital or your present amount plus the interest. So basically if we say interest, that is the amount of money earned by lending that money. That is for the point of view of a lender. So first example, find the total amount of an investment of 1,000 pesos after 8 years at a simple interest rate of 10%. So let's have the given. The present amount is 1,000. The rate of interest is 10%. Then we have the number of years is equal to 8 years. So if we are to compute for the interest equal to the present amount, the rate times the number of interest period. So you have the present amount is 1,000 pesos, the rate is 0.10, then this is multiplied by 8 years. So it will earn an interest of, so 10% of 1,000 is 100 times 8. So it will earn an interest of 800 pesos. But the question is, find the total amount of the investment. We are looking for the future amount, F. So future amount is simply equal to your capital, or that is your present amount P, plus the interest. So we have the future amount equal to, what is our capital? We have that is 1,000, plus the interest earned after 8 years is 800. So the total amount of the investment after 8 years is 1,800 pesos. This will be our answer. Okay, so next example. So a man speculating in real estate invested 300,000 pesos into 2 land developments. One investment yields 12%. And the yearly income is 3,600 pesos more than the other investments, which yields 18%. How much was the total annual income? So basically, based on the problem, we have a capital of 300,000 pesos is to be distributed into 2 investments. So we have the first investment is, let's say, X, and the other investment is Y. So X is invested at, let's say on the first rate given, it is invested at a rate of 12%, while the other is invested at a given rate of, let's say this is 18%. Okay? So 300,000 is distributed into 2 investments, X and Y, and the value of X is invested at 12%, the value of Y is invested at 18%. But according to this problem, okay, the interest earned at X, let's say this is the interest earned at X is equal to the interest earned at Y plus 3,600 pesos. Based on this statement, so one investment yields 12% and the yearly income from this is 3,600 more than the other investments, which yields 18%. So how to determine the interest? Interest is present amount, the rate times time. But for this case, we assume that time is simply equal to 1 since we are dealing with annual income. So annual income, or every year, or from the statement, yearly income. So we have this equation. So X plus Y is equal to 300,000. The interest at X investment is equal to the interest at Y investment plus 3,600. So therefore, what is the equivalent of the interest at X? That is equal to, what is our present amount? Let's have this as, okay. Let's have the present amount is equal to X and another present amount is equal to Y. So we have the interest at X is equal to, what is the present amount? That is X, multiplied by the rate, that is 12%, 0.12, considering 1 year, okay, annual, that is multiplied by 1. So the value of the interest at X is equal to 0.12 of X. The interest at Y is equal to, okay, what is the present amount? That is the Y value. What is the rate of interest at Y investment? That is 0.18. So we have the interest at Y is equal to 0.18 of Y. So these are the values. Then we substitute these values on this equation. What is the equivalent of Ix? This is 0.12 of X equal to, what is the equivalent of I sub Y? That is 0.18 of Y plus 3,600. Okay, so we have now two equations to announce. Okay, so let's have the equivalent of y as 300,000 from this equation. Y is equal to 300,000 minus x. Then we do substitution. And we have, okay, let us use this equation. So from this equation, 0.12 of x is equal to 0.18 of y plus 3,600. We have 0.12 of x equal to 0.18, what is the equivalent of y? That is 300,000 minus x, okay, plus 3,600. This is 0.12 of x equal to, what is 0.18 of 300,000? So 0.18 of 300,000 is equal to 54,000. Okay, minus 0.18 of x plus 3,600. So this is now 0.12 of x plus 0.18 of x is equal to 54,000 plus 3,600 is 57,600. So this is 0.12 plus 0.18 is 0.3 of x equal to 57,600. So let's have the value of x. So this is the amount of money invested at 12%. 57,600 divided by 0.3. So we have that as 192,000. Then we have the value of y, this equivalent of y, that is 300,000 minus the value of x. We have 300,000 minus 192,000. So that is 100. This is 108,000. So these are the values. 192,000 is invested at 12%. 108,000 is invested at 18%. So let's check, is it correct? We have 300,000 minus 192,000. We have 108,000. But the required is the total interest. So we have the annual income. So again, if you are a lender, kung ikaw yung nagpapautang, interest is your income. So the total income, let's say this is I sub t is equal to the I sub x plus the I sub y. We have this equations. We have this is I sub x is 0.12 of, what is the value of x? 192,000 plus I sub y, 0.18 of y, that is 0.18 of 108,000. So we have the total interest is equal to, we have 0.12 multiplied by 192,000 plus 0.18 multiplied by 108,000. So the total income of 42,480 pesos. So this will be our answer.